Okay, hello everyone. Welcome sa isa na namang lecture. I'm gonna place this under general psychology kasi sa tingin ko itong topic natin very important sa mga students of general psychology. Sila yung mga papasok pa lang sa mga major subjects ng psychology. One of the most important questions na dapat may sagot ang isang psych major, why it matters how you see the psyche. Bakit mahalaga kung paano mo nakikita yung psyche na pinag-aaralan mo sa psychology? Again, kung ikaw, psych major ka, papasok ka pa lang sa major programs, dito pa lang dapat masettle mo na kung ano ang sagot mo dito. And the reason is, based sa red box, this will determine whether or not makakatulong ka in the future. Kaya ka nag-psych major, gusto mong makatulong sa mental health ng mga tao. You want to make it better. The thing is, kung magagawa mo yon, if you can help people to have better mental health, depende yan kung tama ba yung pananaw mo sa psyche na pinag-aaralan mo sa psychology. So it's very important to settle that question in your early career ngayon pa lang na nasa general psychology ka. And I hope this lecture video can help you decide kung paano mo titignan ang psyche. Now, I want to start with those three words, how you see. Mag-i-insert ako ng principle, in connection to how you see, or sa Tagalog, paano mo nakikita. Do you agree kung paano mo nakikita ang isang bagay will determine kung anong gagawin mo sa bagay na yon? In English, how you see will determine what you do. Let me repeat. How you see will determine what you do. Meron akong dalawang examples to reinforce this principle. Halimbawa, iba ang trato mo sa pera versus trato mo sa papel. Kung may nakita kang pera sa harap mo, ano ang treatment mo dyan? I-value mo yan. Let's say 1,000 pesos yan, i-value mo yan, ilalagay mo sa wallet yan, pambibili mo ng mga bagay-bagay yan, or pwede mong dalhin sa bangko yan para ilagay sa savings account mo. Pero the way you treat money, iba yan sa treatment mo if you have a piece of paper in front of you. Pag may nakita kang papel sa harap mo, hindi mo yan ilalagay sa wallet mo, hindi mo yan pambabayad sa bangko, hindi mo yan dadalhin sa hindi mo yan pambabayad pambili ng damit mo, or hindi mo dadalhin ang papel sa bangko para ilagay sa savings account mo. Kung nawala ang papel, hindi masyado masama ang loob mo, pero masama ang loob mo kapag nawalan ka ng 1,000 pesos. Kasi mas merong value yung money compared to paper. But my point here is, hindi pareho ang treatment mo between these two. Bakit? Kasi iba ang tingin mo. Iba ang tingin mo sa pera versus iba ang tingin mo sa papel. One last example, tubig versus sisig. Kapag may tubig sa harap mo, iba na naman ang treatment mo dyan. Iinumin mo yan, ilalagay mo yan sa baso, ilalagay mo yan sa rep para malamig, hindi mo yan gagawin sa sisig. Ang sisig, hindi mo yan ilalagay sa baso para inumin. Sana. 'Di ba? Hindi mo yan ilalagay sa rep. Kasi kakainin mo kaagad yan. Ang sisig kinakain. So wag mo sanang inumin yung sisig at kainin yung tubig. Wag mong nguyain yung tubig at wag mong higupin yung sisig. Does that make sense? Iba ang treatment. Bakit? Depende yan kung paano natin nakikita yung isang bagay. Yan yung ibig sabihin ko dito ng how you see. Ngayon, i-apply mo yung principle na how you see doon sa psyche, ganun din. Kung paano mo view yung psyche ng tao, depende yan, kung paano mo i-view yung psyche ng tao will determine kung paano mo yan tatratuhin in the future kapag psychology professional ka na. And in the field of psychology, there are two major ways on how to see the psyche. Number one, pwede mo makita yung psyche as a spirit, or number two, the psyche as a matter. So, isa-isahin natin yan. Doon muna tayo sa psyche as spirit. Kapag ganyan ang pananaw mo sa psyche, ito yung mga basic beliefs mo about the psyche. You believe that the psyche is non-physical. Spirito. Hindi nakikita, hindi nahawakan, iba siya sa brain because the brain is physical. And in psychology, kaya nga siya tinawag na psychology, root word psyche, hindi natin focus ang brain, rather the software that makes the brain work, which is the psyche. At yung psyche na yan, merong pinanggalingan, hindi lang siya aksidente somewhere in the universe, isang araw may sumabog na lang, may psyche na. Hindi ganon. This psyche na pinag-uusapan natin in our field was created by God in the image of God. Meron tong designer. Meron itong pinanggalingan. At ang biblical basis natin dyan, syempre, yung mga nakasulat sa Genesis. In Genesis 2:7, dinescribe dyan kung paano nabuhay ang physical matter. Na una ginawa, hinubog ang katawan mula sa alabok ng lupa, and then may pumasok na psyche doon sa katawan na yon, doon nagkaroon ng buhay. Implication, our body is made alive by the psyche. Doon naman sa Genesis 1:27, ito yung zoom in kung paano ginawa yung tao. God created man in His own image. So yung psyche na pumasok sa katawan ng tao from God's image. Which ang ibig sabihin nun, may mga psychological attributes ang Diyos na nag-overlap. Nag-share din ang psychological attribute ng mga tao. So God has intelligence, humans have intelligence, God has personality, we also have personality, so on and so forth. I-discuss ko yan sa ibang lecture, the psychology of the image of God. Alright? For the meantime, ito lang muna yung tatandaan ninyo. Ang psyche, hindi yan random accident. It was carefully designed by a creator, created in His image. Also to add, kung naniniwala ka that psyche is a spirit, syempre ang psyche is sacred. Kasi ang psyche ginawa ng pinaka-sacred na being sa buhay, which is God. So, ang psyche may mataas na value. Kaya nga ito yung ito yung pinaka foundation ng respect. Bakit natin nire-respect ang lahat ng tao? Bakit may inherent value ang mga tao? Bakit tayo sumusulat ng maraming batas para protektahan ang rights ng tao? Because humans are valuable. We are valuable because we are created by the most valuable being in life. Nagigets nyo? So, ang psyche, very valuable, hindi to aksidente lang, and the psyche exists after life. Remember, we have two nature, physical and spiritual. So, kapag ang physical namatay, nagka-cancer yan, or na-aksidente, or inatake sa puso, yung katawan, ililibing, magde-decompose yung katawan, hahalo sa lupa, pero yung psyche na nasa loob ng katawan, babalik doon sa creator who created it in the first place. Ang biblical basis dyan would be Ecclesiastes. Then shall the dust return to the earth, and then the spirit babalik doon sa Diyos na gumawa nung spirit. Now, for those of you na nakataas ang kilay dyan, kasi sasabihin nyo na naman, hindi na naman ako scientific, there is a very busy area of research in connection to this idea na posible pa rin buhay ang psyche kahit patay na ang katawan, yung near-death experiences research. If you have time, you go to Google Scholar, hanap kayo ng mga papers on that, as in ang daming mga studies na talagang nagpapakita that it's possible na meron pa ring psychological activities even after death. Kahit brain dead ka na, kahit wala ka ng heartbeat, studies show na posible pa rin na may mga psychological processes na nangyayari. Nakakapagsalita pa rin yung espiritu, nakakakilala pa rin yung espiritu, nakaka-perceive pa rin ng events yung espiritu, so on and so forth. Again, if you want to know the specifics, punta lang kayo sa mga libro na to. Written by doctors themselves, talagang mga hardcore scientists to, hindi to bias. Sila mismo, focus sa physical aspect of human beings, they are witnesses, they are giving testimonies na talagang iba ang psyche sa katawan as mentioned in Ecclesiastes. Nagigets nyo? Now, one more thing. Yun pala yung number 1. So, lahat ng sinabi ko under yun ng psyche as spirit. Now, let's move on to number 2, the psyche as matter. Ito naman yung kapaliktaran. Pag ito naman yung tingin mo sa psyche, naniniwala ka that the brain and the psyche are just the same. So, yung brain, maraming mga neurons dyan, trillions, nagdikit-dikit yon. At pag nagdikit-dikit yung trillions of neurons, ano nangyayari? Doon lumalabas yung consciousness, also known as the psyche. Nagigets nyo? So, ang psyche, dahil physical matter lang siya, it was just a product of random accident from the explosion in the universe billions of years ago. Sounds familiar? Evolution. Kaya karamihan ng mga scientists na naniniwala sa evolution, wherein marami sila, ito yung view na pinaniniwalaan, that the psyche is a matter. More than the brain cells, kasama din dyan ang hormones or the body chemicals. Bakit ka nai-inlove? Bakit ka may hope? Bakit ka natatakot? Bakit ka motivated sa buhay? It's about your hormones. Kaya kapag yung mga emotions mo taas-baba, ang explanation dyan kasi yung mga hormones taas-baba rin. nag-i-interact yung hormones with the trillions of brain cells, giving way to the psyche. Ganon ang view, no, ng psyche as matter. At dahil dyan, wala tayong pinagkaiba sa other physical things on earth. Wala tayong pinagkaiba sa papel, wala tayong pinagkaiba sa bato, wala tayong pinagkaiba sa tawag dito sa plastic. Kapag sinunog mo yung physical existence sa mga bagay na yon, they stop existing. The same way with the psyche. Kapag namatay na yung katawan, naagnas na yung katawan, nag-decompose na yung brain, nawala na yung trillions of cells, nawala na yung hormonal activities, wala na rin tayong existence. No brain leads to no psyche, as you can see here. Okay? So, yun yung pinagkaiba ng psyche as matter versus psyche as spirit. Now, between the two, if you're gonna ask me, alin dyan yung mas uso sa science? Yung mas pinaniniwalaan sa science, definitely it's going to be number 2. Marami talagang mga hardcore scientists, yung mga big names in the field of science, naniniwala na ang psyche, it's just a product of brain and hormones. Ito yung more dominant. Don't get me wrong ha, hindi ko sinasabing walang naniniwala sa number 1. Meron, pero hindi sila yung norm. Ang uso, ang norm, yung marami, yung popular is number 2. At ito yung pinaniniwalaan ng maraming mga tao that the psyche is just a matter. Got that? Now, the thing is, eto ngayon yung tanong, no? So, meron tayong 2 views of the psyche. If you can see my question here sa red box, alin dyan yung tama? Hindi kasi pwedeng pareho silang tama. Hindi mo pwedeng pareho mo silang i-accept. Ang isa dyan tama, ang isa dyan mali, at hindi tayo dapat matakot, hindi tayo dapat mahiya kung i-pinpoint kung ano yung tama. And between these two, syempre, knowing the nature of my channel, hulaan nyo kung anong pipiliin ko dyan. Alin dyan yung mas accurate, I would have to go to number 1 that the psyche is a spirit. We need to see the psyche as a spirit created by God with inherent value. Sa tingin ko, and I'm gonna justify this for the next slides, kapag ito ang pananaw mo sa psyche, mas magiging successful yung attempts mo to help people have better mental health. Compared to kung nakikita mo lang yung psyche as just a piece of brain and set of chemical hormones. Got that? So, i-justify ko kung bakit sa tingin ko mas accurate na paniwalaan mo that psyche is a spirit. Again, sinabi ko na to kanina, no? If you're gonna group psychologists into 2 groups and then ask them how they see the psyche, dalawang major groups yan. Psyche as spirit and then psyche as brain. Now, insert na natin dito yung principle na diniscuss ko kanina. Ano sabi ko? How you see something determines what you do. So, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin dito na it won't matter naman eh. Kung paano nakikita ng psychologist ang isang psyche. Huwag na natin problemahin yan. In fact, this is so foundational. Kaya ko to ginawa tong lecture na to, ganun ka-importante to. So again, balik tayo sa principle. How you see determines what you do. Iba ang ipapagawa ng isang psychologist sa tao kapag yung psychologist na nakikita niya yung psyche as a spirit, iba na naman yung papagawa niya sa tao kapag nakikita niya yung tao that the psyche is just a brain. Like for instance, i-connect mo to sa idea of mental health. Let's say, ang isang tao merong poor mental health, depressed siya. The thing is, kung ang tao depressed, pumunta sa dalawang psychologist A, psychologist B, mag-iiba ngayon sila ng general approach or general objective doon sa taong depressed. Doon sa psychologist who see the psyche as spirit, ang magiging goal niya is, what can I do para matulungan tong taong to heal his or her spirit? Doon naman sa psychologist B, ang magiging goal niya is, ano ang pwede kong gawin para mabalanse ko yung chemicals sa katawan nito at mag-improve yung emotions niya at matakasan niya ang depression. Nagigets nyo? So, you apply that principle going back. Ito, i-apply mo yan. Kitang-kita nyo na kung anong implication nun in the way you're gonna treat future clients. You see the psyche as spirit, you heal the spirit. You see the psyche as the brain, you simply balance the chemicals. So again, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin that how you see the psyche, wala namang bearing yan. Diba? Meron dyan mas tama, meron dyan mas accurate. And again, in this lecture, I'm gonna take side on the psyche as spirit. Now, anyway, going back here to this slide, no? So, Unahin natin yung psyche as brain. Kung psychologist ka, naniniwala ka na yung kliyente mo is just a piece of brain na napapaliguan ng hormones araw-araw, so ang goal mo, balansehin yung chemicals niya, depress siya, anong gagawin mo? Yan yung mga papagawa mo sa kanya. Turukan mo ng gamot yan, prescribean mo ng gamot, i-alter mo yung hormones niyan, baguhin mo yung diet niyan, so on and so forth. As you notice here, the solutions are physical. Why? Because you believe that the source of the problem is also physical. Pero kapag psychologist ka, naniniwala ka that psyche is a spirit, and you want to heal the spirit, iba na naman yung ipapagawa mo dyan. Siyempre, number one approach yan, how do you heal the spirit? How do you heal the broken spirit? Ilapit mo yan sa source of the spirit, who is God. Kaya in the literature, marami na ring evidences dyan na kapag ang isang tao mataas ang spirituality, aka okay yung intimacy niya with God, gumaganda ang mental health. And to mind you, Jesus said something about that, yung sa John 15:5. I think this is one of the most psychologically inclined comment by Jesus. Diba sinabi niya dito, kapag ang tao malapit sa Diyos, if a man remains in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. Yung much fruit dyan, we can translate that in psychological language as magiging maganda ang mental wellness mo. Now, don't get me wrong, hindi sinasabi dito na pag close ka kay Lord, wala kang problema, or you won't feel anxiety, or you won't feel stressed. May experience mo pa rin yung mga yon, pero meron kang spiritual means, meron kang spiritual materials na pwedeng gamitin to deal with those mental difficulties, kaya ka nagiging fruitful. Nagiging fruitful ka, nagiging productive ka, kasi kahit stress ka, okay ka pa rin. Nagiging productive ka pa rin. Nagigets nyo? Yun yung ibig sabihin ng much fruit dito. And again, this happens when ang tao, merong intimacy with God, they are close with each other. If a man remains in me and I in him. Again, ang tawag dyan is spirituality or intimacy with God. O, kaya ang isang psychologist na ito ang view sa psyche, yan ngayon yung magiging sub-goal niya. How can I make this person more intimate with God para makakakuha siya ng mga spiritual solutions at magagamit niya yung mga solutions na yon to deal with his or her current psychological problems such as depression. Other than intimacy with God, dagdagan mo yan ng aayusin yung thought patterns, titignan mo yung relationships niya with other people, tuturuan mo siya mag-meditate, prayer, therapy, so on and so forth. If you notice, the solutions here are non-physical. You see the contrast here? Physical to, ito non-physical. So again, iba yung magiging approach mo sa tao, depende kung nakikita mo siya as a spirit or just a piece of brain. Now, let me ask this very difficult question. Di dalawang framework yan about the psyche. Alin dyan yung mas effective? Alin dyan yung mas mataas yung chance na magiging okay yung mental health niya, mag-i-improve yung mental health niya kapag yan ang view mo of the psyche? O, ngayon, sasagutin ko yung question na yan by using logic. As you know, logic is also one of the ways on how to find the truth, Hindi lang tayo puro scientific method. Hindi lang tayo puro journal articles. Pwede rin tayong gumamit ng reasoning para ma-enlighten tayo, makita natin yung mga sagot natin sa mga tanong. So again, anong tanong natin dito between these two frameworks? Alin dyan yung mas magli-lead sa mas magandang mental health? Gamitan natin ng logic. Psychological problems must be solved by psychological solutions. Let me repeat. Psychological problems must be solved by psychological solutions. Now, in a scale of 1 to 10, i-rate nyo nga yung statement na yan kung gaano siya ka-reasonable. 10 the highest, 1 the lowest. Sana naman ang sagot nyo is 10. This makes a lot of sense. Kung ang may problema is the psyche, dapat yung solution na ibibigay mo sa psyche, pang-psychological. Got that? Let me use two analogies to further reinforce itong logic na to. Halimbawa, sira ang kotse mo at gusto mong ayusin, nag-overheat lagi, laging tumitirik. Tanong, anong kailangan mo para maayos mo yung problema ng kotse na yan? Kailangan mo ng car tools or ng automobile tools such as this. Pag marunong kang gumamit ng mga tools na yan, ng tama, mataas yung chance na masosolve mo yung problema mo sa kotse mong tirik ng tirik. Got that? Another example would be, let's say, ang sira naman yung katawan. Let's say may appendicitis na dapat tanggalin. Anong kailangan gamitin para matanggal ng maayos yung appendicitis? Kailangan ng surgical tools. Pag meron kang surgical tools, malinis yan, alam mo kung paano gamitin ng tama, most likely, masosolve yung problema ng appendicitis. Nagigets nyo? So kapag ang may problema, kotse, kailangan mo ng tools pang kotse. Kapag ang problema mo ang problema ng katawan, kailangan mo ng tools that can deal with the physical body. Huwag mong babalik na rin. Kapag binaliktad mo, papalpak yung outcome. Don't you agree? Sira yung kotse mo, ginamitan mo ng surgical tools. 99% hindi mo maaayos yan. Kasi merong mga kanto yung kotse na I'm sure hindi kayang ayusin ng surgical tools. And vice versa, huwag mo ring gamitan ng automobile tools yung isang taong ooperahan mo para tanggalan ng appendix. Kasi you will endanger that person's life. Tama? So kapag ginamitan mo ng automobile tools, yung katawan ng tao at tinanggalan mo ng appendix, hindi rin magiging maganda yung outcome, baka mamatayan. Does that make sense? Now, you translate that analogy to what I'm talking about when spiritual problems are solved by physical solutions, doon ngayon nagkakaproblema. And this is actually the norm in therapy today. Dahil marami mga psychologists, marami mga psychology professionals, highly materialistic ang view. They consider the psyche as the brain. Most of them, when they are faced with clients na may psychological problems, ang solution nila, physical. Diba? Kumbaga, kung itatranslate mo yan sa analogy ko, para silang ganito. Ang may sira, kotse, gumagamit ng surgical tools. Ang may sira, yung katawan, gumagamit ng automobile tools. Kaya most likely, papalpak, hindi magiging successful yung outcome. Unfortunately, in the field today, ganyan ang marami. Now, for psychology professionals na gumagawa niyan, may mismatch of the object and the tool being used to that object, no? Akala ko ba sa psychology even in psychiatry, ang bida dito yung psyche. Everybody say the word psyche, also known as the spirit. Psychology man yan or psychiatry man yan, pareho lang psyche yung root word. Meaning, whether it's psychology or psychiatry, psyche ang main object of study. Now, how come if you apply this framework, ang psyche pala ang may problema, marami mga professionals overly relying on physical solutions such as antidepressants for depression, such as hormone therapy for other psychological disorders. Hindi match, hindi tugma. Merong disconnect. We are dealing here with the non-physical, but kapag nagka-problema yung non-physical na yan, binibigyan natin ng mga physical solutions. Now, don't get me wrong, yung mga nagtatanong dyan, I am not against meds. In fact, ako, naniniwala that there are some situations na kailangan talaga ng meds para mas maging successful yung therapy. And I think as a psych major, hindi ka rin dapat totally against meds. You know why? Because in psychology, we also agree to the idea that the psyche and the body are intertwined. Ibig sabihin, close ang relationship ng katawan at ng psyche, the body and mind connection. The body assumes, or the field psychology assumes dualism, na ang tao hindi lang puro katawan, meron din siyang psyche. But those two elements interact with each other. The psyche affects the body affects the psyche. So there are situations na kapag yung tao may psychological problem, ang one of the steps is bigyan mo muna ng medication yan para mas makapag-isip siya at mas maayos yung problema niya. What I am against is physicalizing the psyche. So okay lang mag-meds, pero wag natin i-physicalize yung psyche. At anong ibig sabihin ko by physicalizing the psyche? The following. Number one, physicalizing the psyche means you assume that there's no God who created the psyche. You don't allow any idea of God in the way you treat your client. Yan. Very, very usong-uso yan sa field today. Lalong-lalo na sa mga scientific communities, marami ang may allergic reactions when they hear the G word, the God word in psychology. Because they believe that God is a spiritual being, therefore, hindi siya dapat involved sa academic psychology. Which is so ironic kasi nga, yung word na psyche is a spirit. Anyway, so I have an entire lecture on that. Okay, so yan yung ibig sabihin ng physicalizing the psyche. You don't allow the concept of God in understanding the psyche, and you believe that everything is determined by the brain cells and the hormones. Kaya ka depressed dahil sa brain at hormones. Kaya ka may eating disorder dahil sa brain, dahil sa hormones. Kaya ka may panic attacks dahil sa brain, dahil sa hormones. That's physicalizing the psyche. Number 2, when you rely on meds for primary treatment. Kaya ako sinabing primary treatment, ibig sabihin, yan yung number 1 option mo. Your one and only option in making the mental health better. Depressed ka, anxious ka, may panic attack ka, may gamot tayo dyan, inumin mo to thrice a day, and then I'm sure okay ka na. Kung baga ginawa mo ng ends yung medicine, ginawa mo na siyang only solution yung medicine. Because you believe that this medicine will solve everything that the person is undergoing. For me, kapag ganyan ang attitude mo, you are physicalizing the psyche. Ang solution mo sa psychological problem is a physical medicine. And number 3, another way to physicalize the psyche, which is not good, is when you demonize faith-based therapies. Usong-uso ito sa field of therapy. Maraming mga researchers on therapy allergic na naman sa mga ideas of faith, religion, God, Spirit. Ayaw nila yung mga words na yan in programming interventions para mapa-improve yung mental health. And I think the reason for this is marami talaga ngayong mga big names in science, powerful men and women in the field of science, lalo na sa psychology, sinusuppress yung katotohanan about the psyche, that the psyche is spiritual, at hindi mo pwedeng ma-analyze yung psyche ng maayos without connecting it to the deity, God Himself. In fact, nakasulat naman yun sa biblical text, that there will come a time that people out of our wickedness will suppress the truth. And that is also happening in science. Marami mga scientists, they suppress the truth. They know the truth about the psyche, pero isa-shut up nila yon. Isusuppress nila yon para paboran yung framework that they believe in, which is the psyche is all about the brain. Walang spiritual world, walang God na dapat pag-usapan when it comes to dealing with the psyche. Yan, nakasulat naman yan, no, that day will come where people out of wickedness will suppress the truth that the psyche needs God. Ito yung truth na sinusuppress, yung sinabi ko sa John 15:5. If a man remains in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. The foundation of mental wellness is intimacy with God. In the psychological language, that is called spirituality. That's the truth na maraming scientists today, maraming psychologists today, sinusuppress. Dinidemonize itong truth na to. They want to simply limit our definition of psyche on the brain, physical processes, on the hormones. Anything to do with the spiritual, with God, wala yan. Hindi dapat pinag-uusapan dito yan. Ibigay nyo sa mga philosophers yan. Ibigay nyo sa mga pari yan. Which again, this should not be the case. Kasi nga, even in research, no, meron namang mga mangilan-ngilan na nakakalusot, talagang napapakita yung truth. Na mas maganda ang outcome ng therapy kapag tama yung foundation ng therapy, which is spiritually based. If you have time, you can Google Scholar this and read this on your own. This is a good article to read. Another article is this one, na again, kapag ang intervention mo is spiritual, tugma sa object of the psyche, mas nagiging successful yung therapy. In fact, let me read one excerpt, no, coming from this article, meta-analysis to, no, of religious and spiritual intervention, RSI. Ito yung mga interventions na may kasamang concepts of God, the spiritual world, faith, so on and so forth. Kapag ganun pala daw ang approach in dealing with mental health issues, generally, nag-i-improve yung anxiety general symptoms according to their study, according to their meta-analysis. Maganda ang effect ng meditation, which is a very spiritual exercise. Nagiging maganda ang outcome ng psychotherapy kapag sinasamahan mo ng mga spiritual interventions. Ito, yung next slide, 2 significant differences were found even in depressive symptoms. Kapag ang mga taong depressed, tinulungan mo sila sa depression coming from the psyche as spirit framework, sinamahan mo ng concepts of God, concepts of faith, concepts of hope, nagiging maganda ang outcome of the process. Mas bumababa yung depression nila. Sabi nga dito, studies have shown that religious and spiritual interventions decrease what? Altogether read, stress, alcoholism, and depression. Alright? Unfortunately, again, these kinds of papers, hindi ito yung mga norm in research. Ito yung mga minority. Kasi ang majority talaga is what? Papers that show that it's all about the brain, it's all about the hormones. Nagigets nyo? Na hindi dapat. Dapat, palabasin din natin yung mga ganyang studies. That indeed, the psyche is much better if you reinforce the spirituality of the psyche. So before we end this short lecture, ano yung mga applications na pwede natin i-apply? Number 1, personal application, you can secure your spiritual needs for better mental health. For those of you with mental health issues, or kahit wala kayong mental health issues but you want to sustain your healthy mental status, ano ang pwede mong gawin? You should give yourself spiritual needs. Because again, you are a spirit. You are a spirit in the body. So if you want to sustain the integrity, kung gusto mong mapanatili yung kalidad ng spirito mo, maganda ang mental health mo, ito yung mga ibigay mo sa spirito mo. Number 1, syempre, God's Word. God's Word is life. It gives life to our spirit. Prayer, meditation, fellowship, forgiveness, grace, salvation. Marami pa akong hindi sinali dyan ng mga spiritual needs. The more you give yourself these needs, mas gumaganda ang mental health mo. Number 2, another application is, sana we consider God as a primary therapist. Ulitin ko, consider God as a primary therapist. Now, I have nothing against therapists. Okay lang na maging therapist ka, pero sana, kapag naging therapist ka, wag mong isipin na ikaw ang solusyon sa problema niya. Wag mong isipin na ikaw ang pinakadaan para mas mapaganda yung mental health niya, malagpasan niya yung depression niya. I hope as a therapist, knowing that the person is a psyche created by God, ang magiging role mo as a therapist is to bridge this person to God para tumaas yung spiritual connection of your client sa Diyos na gumawa sa kanya. By doing that, mas magiging successful yung mental health outcomes ng kliyente mo. Kaya in the Bible, in connection to this, marami mga characters, okay ang mental health nila. Don't get me wrong, ha? Marami sa mga Bible characters depressed, mataas ang anxiety. Marami sa kanila talagang yung iba pa nga suicidal. Pero it doesn't mean hindi sila okay mentally. Okay ang mental health nila kahit meron silang mga struggles. And what do they have in common? Bakit kahit marami silang spiritual struggles, psychological struggles, okay pa rin sila? Okay yung coping mechanism nila because they are intimate with God. One example would be David. Diba? Ang daming mga anxiety, ang daming mga reasons for depression ni King David if you read his life. But why is it na overcome niya yung mga problems na yon? Kasi every time that he is psychologically down, he seeks intimacy with God. He goes to God. He considers God as his therapist. Hinahayaan niya ang Diyos ang mag-analyze sa kanya. Hinahayaan niya na si Lord yung magbigay ng solution sa kanya. In one of his prayers, sinabi ni David yan, "Search me, O God, and know my heart." Pumupunta siya sa ultimate spiritual being. Hindi siya pumunta sa isang therapist. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my concerns. Ulitin ko, I have nothing against therapy. I have nothing against therapists. Pero sana as a therapist who see the psyche as a creation of God, yan dapat yung number 1 goal mo if somebody goes to you. You pray to God, natulungan ka as a therapist, gamitin ka as a therapist na masagot itong prayer na to. Ikaw yung magiging tool ni Lord para itong taong to ma-search niya yung sarili niya. So the insights, the wisdom na i-share mo sa kliyente mo hindi galing sa'yo, hindi galing sa theory ni Freud, hindi galing sa theory ni Skinner, rather galing sa wisdom of God who created your client's psyche. Ikaw yung magiging kasangkapan ni Lord to do that. Nagigets nyo? So, okay lang na maging therapist, ha? Wala namang masama dyan. And number 3, another application is, kung gagamit man tayo ng meds. Again, hindi ako against sa meds. Okay lang sa akin ang meds. Pero sana, pag gagamit ka ng ng mga gamot, you consider these medicines only as tools. Papakalmahin lang natin siya. Papababain lang natin yung stress level niya. Ibabalanse lang natin yung chemical ng brain niya. Kapag malinaw na siya mag-isip, now that's the time. We do the work. Let's make this person more intimate with his or her creator. Hindi yung ginagawa mong substitute yung meds for intimacy with God. Don't consider meds as the end in itself. You're sad, here's the medicine. You're anxious, here's the medicine. Hindi dapat ganon. You're anxious, masyadong mataas yung anxiety mo, hindi kita makausap ng maayos, here's the medicine, pababain muna natin yan. Kapag okay ka na mag-isip, now let's talk about your spiritual needs. Ganon dapat ang approach. Number 4, allow more research on faith-based therapies. Again, wag natin i-demonize sa field. Na kapag may research tungkol sa God in connection to therapy, hindi ka agad i-approve. Sasabihin, hindi inclusive yung paper. Marami kasing ganyan. So, yung mga papers na ganon, hindi napapublish. Nasayang. Marami sanang may inspire sa paper na yon, hindi pinablish kasi nga, yung editor, hindi naniniwala sa spiritual world. So, wag sana ganon, no? Allow more research on faith-based therapies. So, going back to my question doon sa title natin, why it matters how you see the psyche? Anong sagot? Ulitin ko, because it will determine whether or not makakatulong ka. At ang susi, para masigurado mong makakatulong ka sa mga future clients mo, piliin mo yung view, piliin mo yung perspective na tama. Ano ba talaga ang tamang pananaw sa psyche? You see the psyche as it is. And what is it? Sinabi ko yan sa lecture ko ngayon. What is the psyche? It is created in the image of God. It is the very nature of human beings. The psyche is not the brain. The psyche comes from the ultimate psyche who is God. So one of the best ways to improve the psyche is to give the psyche its spiritual needs. Ganyan ang wiring sa atin ni Lord, no? Na meron tayong mga spiritual needs at dapat araw-araw we are running after those spiritual needs, and the best source of the spiritual needs is intimacy with God. Alright? So I'm sure marami na namang mga nakataas ang kilay dyan about this lecture, pero okay lang. I mean, mas okay na yung sampalin ko kayo ng katotohanan kaysa halikan ko kayo ng kasinungalingan. Next naman, nabasa ko somewhere yan sa isang libro. So that's my lecture on why it matters how you see the psyche. If you have any questions or comments, ilagay nyo lang dyan. Sir Howard here. Until the next lecture, God bless everyone. Bye-bye.